Welcome to Lunch Break. We get an hour lunch, so we're spending 15 minutes of it each day to talk about whatever. So, let's begin the week.
Lunch break.
Lunch break.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How was your vacation?
I've been sitting down, and then now I'm sitting down again. So pretty much nothing really changed.
Yeah, about the same.
Yeah,
Same old, same old.
pretty much the same thing.
I had a crazy nightmare.
That's fun.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like a nightmare at first. Like it was just kind of like a weird abstract dream at first.
Right.
Like I was on a date with a lady, and there was since we've been watching Dragon Ball, there's like semi Dragon Ball technology. There was like these big boxes, and they could become basically anything.
Right.
And the idea of the date where we were going to drive to 3 different boxes to get tacos. Like one box makes tortillas, the other box fucking puts stuff on the tortillas, and then the third box cooks it. So it's like a prepared taco. I don't know why one box couldn't do this, but that's like besides the point of the nightmare bit. We ended up not being able to do that because it was raining too much. And we couldn't we wanted to drive. And then she was like, "Oh, let's walk and do it instead." And I was like, "Okay," but that went horribly because it was just like excessively muddy.
Right.
My pants and shoes got ruined and all torn up from mud. So we abandoned the idea completely, and we found like a gang of people in like a parking lot looking over an edge. And we were like, "Let's go see what these people are doing." And they were all heckling Carson, who was like just getting off of work. Carson was the guy on one of the previous episodes, but yeah, they were heckling him, and then I woke up in real life, and like I was just sitting there, in my bed, like looking around, and like, you ever have those states where like your eyes are open but you're still kind of asleep?
Yeah.
It's like a half awake, half asleep thing.
Yeah.
Like I was aware of my surroundings, but I was like daydreaming, or I guess you call it night dreaming.
Night dreaming.
And like the perspective of the dream shifted. Like the entire time it was from a first person view, but now that I'm awake, it was like I was like seeing it from afar. And like the lady that I was with turned into like a demon and clawed me. And I started like imagining myself saying like the power of Christ repels you. And then I was like, maybe it would help if I got the rest of the people to say it. So I was like, I'll imagine them saying it too. And as I had that thought in real life, I felt something grab my hand and pull it down in my covers. Mm-hmm. And then I heard like a demonic voice be like, "Do not do this." And then like I snapped out of the dream, and I was just sitting there with like sleep paralysis for like 10 seconds. And then I was like, what the fuck? And then I finally got out of bed and was like, I'm going to go take a pee and then go back to bed. I don't know. It was completely unexpected. I was like, what?
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I slept well, I think. I don't think I wore my watch last night, so I kind of didn't really
just kind of raw dogged it.
Yeah, I don't know how long I slept, but I feel all right.
That's good.
I did screw up though, because I did want to stole an apple and shit from you, because the fruit sounded really good, even though I was not planning on eating anything until I get home today.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty tasty.
I've eaten an apple and banana today.
But I'm definitely not going to be fasting anymore, so I guess that means I might as well just die today.
Yeah.
So
I was going to eat an apple on stream, but I ended up just eating it before. But I wanted to crunch the apple and go,
Right.
Feeling all fat and nasty, I'll kill myself.
Mm.
But yeah, I've been doing a bunch of guitar practice.
Yeah.
That's been going well. Fucking, I can consistently play A, E, and D without like having to look at anything.
Right.
I'm very slow. Like I have to look at the guitar, but I can go like A, and then switch over very slowly, and then E, and then switch over very slowly, D, however D sounds.
Right. Yeah, I think it's that transition between chords is going to be the thing.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be the hard sort of hurdle to get over.
And then while I was in there and last night, I've been practicing learning C and G and F.
Yeah.
And those are difficult because you have to like tie your fingers in knots to like reach the strings. Maybe I just have small hands. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's just it's a dexterity thing. You just got to kind of do it.
Mm-hmm. The big issue I'm having is like whenever I have to stretch my hand out like that to get to the strings, one of my fingers when pressing down on a string will be touching the other string, so it like dulls the note sound, so it goes like dong 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 instead of like a proper like doing kind of sound.
Right.
So I gotta like put my finger straight down on the thing and not go at like an angle,
Yeah.
and that's really difficult.
I do want to mess around with a guitar, but I don't have one, and I would want to have one that I could just like screw around with whenever.
I keep planning on just keeping it out here so anyone can use it,
Yeah.
but I end up just keeping it in my room on accident.
Yeah, I mean, I just, I don't know. That, like, I'd like to find some fun things to practice with piano, because it feels like, again, the guitar is I really genuinely feel like guitar is more intuitive than piano to learn, to actually just, like, start playing things. Piano takes a bit more.
I think piano is like considered one of the most difficult things to learn. To be like, well, it's like kind of like what's the word? Like it has an incredibly high skill cap.
Yeah.
You can just like play around with it and play like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, but there's like infinite levels of skill with the piano.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot more to it. So it makes guitar stuff appealing because it's like just sort of easy to pick up and start doing something or like making things you want to make.
I've definitely found it a lot more intuitive to play, but I spent like a year or so learning how to play the mountain dulcimer when I was a kid. So the knowledge from that kind of translated over, even though you play them completely differently. Like the dulcimer, you put it like on a flat surface and like kind of play it like a piano kind of, but you're like just pulling on the keys.
Yeah.
While a guitar you actually hold. So that's kind of like a learning curve to get over.
Right.
So you've been playing Crimson Desert?
No.
Have you been enjoying it?
It's fun. I like it. Like it's a weird game though, and it's absolutely not for everyone because most of the game is like it does a bunch of things incredibly wrong.
I see that you're climbing a wall right now. Can you do that anywhere?
Yeah, this is just a random mountain.
Dude.
Yeah, so it's got it's got a lot of really, really cool stuff about it. And like many things like again, like the climbing is really good because the game also doesn't baby you. Like there was a review from IGN, apparently this was like big news apparently, but there was a review from IGN that was like their main gripe was that it doesn't highlight walls to tell you to climb them. Like there's not like highlights like in all the other games that are just made for everyone.
They're not painted yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like in this game, it's just like, yeah, you can just sort of literally go up anything as long as it's physically climbable. It doesn't really stop you from doing it.
I fucking love that.
But aside from that, this game basically takes inspiration from every single game you have ever played. Like, it's a little bit like Red Dead Redemption 2, but the map is like twice as big. And in that, like, you explore a lot and there's always things to run into and you just sort of, you can do that. But, and not like Red Dead, the story, there isn't like one focused, narrow story it wants you to take. It wants you to just like do a ton of things. And there's like, the world the story isn't really like, almost doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then like the combat is really fun. Sort of, there's addictive aspects of the combat and then like the abilities and stuff. And they just do certain things so well that you keep wanting to play it, despite the fact that it has glaring issues like the control scheme, which is unbearable. The control scheme in the game is just completely awful.
Yeah.
And I can't even begin to like...
Does it feel any better with the controller?
I don't know, because I've only played it for like literally the last 5 minutes.
Can you climb trees?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be able to climb a tree. But oh
my god, yes.
Like, I don't know. The controls on keyboard were insanely stupid. Like, there was this moment at the very beginning, there was a puzzle, and I had to use my sword. Again, it takes a little bit from every game. So it's a little bit like what is it, Wind Maker? Like
Wind Waker?
The Legend of the Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's got some aspects of like the climbing and it's very much like fucking Shadow of the Colossus.
With the grip meter and everything?
Yeah, but then you also use your sword to like, there's puzzles where you use your sword and reflect the light.
Oh,
to, like,
yeah, just like
focus.
Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah. And like I was doing that puzzle at the very beginning of the game and it was like, yeah, use your sword. Press control and left click at the same time. And so I did that and nothing happened. And I was like, okay. And then I did it again, and then a guy pulled his sword out and held it to the right, and I was holding both of them down, and he was just holding them out like this. Like, if I held it down, he would do this. And I'm like, okay. And then I let go, and then he stops. And I'm like, oh, all right, now what do I do? And I spent like, I don't know, like 5 or 10 minutes just trying to do the stupid thing that it was telling me to do, but the way you're supposed to do it, before it eventually popped up a thing on my screen, and it was like, hey, this is how you do it. And it like decided to finally explain itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, what you do is you press shift and right click at the same exact time, and then and once you do that, you'll go into this pose. Then let go of shift while still holding right click, and you'll keep your sword out. Then you press shift again to focus that sword, and then you can get through the puzzle. And I'm like, why is it like that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. And
Convoluted.
then to communicate with any of the NPCs, the first one I went up to, the game was like, talk to him, and I'm like, how do I do that? And it says press E. So I kept pressing E, and nothing was happening. And I was like, what the fuck? Or no, I'd press E, and he would talk. He would talk to him, but it wouldn't like start the mission. It was weird. It was like there's multiple different ways of doing it, but like just pressing E just makes me go like, eh. And like pressing it properly will make it work. The way to press it properly is to hold shift and then press E, and then it interacts with him properly. And I'm like, why? Like, why is there? What the hell's the difference? But yeah, no, with the controller, people still say it has issues. It doesn't. There's a million different buttons. Like the same button you'd use. It's also frozen, but that's because it's streaming it. The same button that you use to like roll is also the button you'd use to parry, but it's also like the button that you'll use to like do something else. So maybe roll, maybe dodge or whatever. I don't know. I guess rolling is dodging. But my point being, like, the same button will be on one button. And somebody I was just watching was like, yeah, in order to like parry somebody, you can't lock onto them, because if you're locking onto them, that button does something different. So you have to unlock from them and then parry. And it's like, well, that's insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, the controls in the game are awful. Just absolutely terrible. Like, rip your hair out because you can't solve a puzzle because you haven't quite learned the combination of when you're supposed to press certain button in order to get past it. Sort of awful. And people, it seems like most people that I've talked to or that I've seen talk about this game say that they play it for a while and they get really, really frustrated and stop playing it, and then they pick it up again and like it. And that's usually what happens. Like, because the game is just absurdly annoying, but it does so many other things well enough that it's like you can't really like stay mad at it because it's doing so many things so well. So they're describing it as like the most controversial game, or like the most divisive game that has come out in like a long ass time. Because critical reviewers are like, no, it's the worst game ever, and players are like, it's pretty good. But then even within those two groups, you have people that are like, it's really good, but what the hell? Like,
I'm wondering if they'll patch the controls or anything eventually, or is that's just how they are going to be?
Well, they said that they're going to fix they're fixing the stuff with patches. They've been putting out patches and making a bunch of changes, and that the controls are a focus point right now.
Okay.
So they're kind of like working on it. So that's really nice to hear. But one person described it as like eating like an excellent high quality steak with a spoon. Like, that's what the game feels like. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah.
The only questions I would have about it, like other than, how buggy is it, how bad are the controls, the game looks really cool to me. I'm just wondering what the leveling up system is like.
I haven't experienced it yet, but I mean, again, from what I've heard people talk about it, it seems like it's really satisfying to like get new abilities and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like that might be a really big highlight point of it. Like, you're just sort of finding out how to do shit slowly.
It's not mandatory, but I would also like it if like it took aspects from like Elder Scroll games where like how if you use the skill you get better at it.
Yeah. I really don't know. I don't know. The game, again, it's like a lot of people have also compared it to like Elder Scrolls, like the newer Elder Scrolls game, or not Elder Scrolls, The fuck is that game called? Dark Souls, but like the
Dark
newer
Souls.
one.
Elden Ring.
What?
Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. People compare it to that in terms of like combat and like the boss battle stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess like the RPG kind of feeling of that. But again, like that's just there's a million people comparing it to a million things. So
Yeah.
That's honestly the reason why I decided to buy it. Like I was sitting there wanting to buy it, and I was heard all this bad stuff, and I was like, nah, maybe not. And then when I really started like looking into reviews and seeing how divisive the game was, I was like, now I'm interested in it because it sounds like when a game is this hard to describe and I'm getting so many mixed responses about it, I'm going to assume that the game is entirely unique in a way that's like not, you can't really put it into words.
Yeah.
Like it has like a completely different feeling to anything else. And I'm like, I'm really curious about that. But yeah, as of right now, I can't even play it because my connection on my desktop is so bad for streaming the game, and I'd have to download it onto the Steam Deck. And
Oh my
the game,
God, I don't think it's going to run well on that.
Well, people say it does. It will not run well, but it runs like at 30.
It's also like over 100 gigabytes.
It's 124 gigabytes. That's the biggest thing.
My.
It sucks. And I really just want the Steam machine.
Yeah, more hope for the Steam machine.
I just want the goddamn Steam machine, please. Why are you doing this to me, Valve? Release the Steam machine.
Release the Steam machine.
Do it now. It's so frustrating. Because a game like this would be really... I want to play a game like this in my living room in this way.
Yeah.
And there's just, like, I don't know, streaming it, like, again, when it's working, when the streaming stuff is working, it's really great.
Yeah, that looks playable.
But it's like it's smooth and it's comfy. But then, you know, it will have its moments where it will just shit its pants, and you can't predict when that's going to happen, and it can easily be when you're doing something really important.
Yeah.
So, like right now, it says pet, but it's grayed out. So you can't just press X. Sorry, I'm talking about, there's an animal in front of me, and it says pet. But I
Maybe
can't.
it's because you have your sword out or something?
Nope. Presumably I have to hold a different button down while I do it. I haven't figured out, oh, now I can do it. For some reason, I had to do it over here. I don't know. See, like now that it's over here again, oh, I can do it. Okay, I have to be standing right in front of the animal in order to do it. I was off to the side before. What?
You've gained trust with the animal.
Yeah. It's weird, like, it's just odd. There's a lot of things about the game that are just odd. But I don't know.
Yeah, very controversial.
I do plan on playing it more, and I'll hopefully like kind of dig it. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna be like a lot of people and like play it for a little while, be like, this game fucking sucks, and get really angry and put it down for a while, and then pick it back up again and be like, I just kind of want to play more of it.
Yeah. It does look very compelling to me. Like it looks like something I would like to play.
Yeah.
I would just want some of the stuff to get ironed out first, so there's not as much apprehension to play it, because you know, like, oh, I got to suffer through all this crap to have fun.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess we're gonna be done.
Yeah, we got to go back to.
Yay!
I don't think we mentioned work today. There's nothing really to mention.
Nah, fuck work. I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
All
Well,
right. See you later.
bye.
Bye. Lunch break.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Did
I'm
you know
ready to
that?
go home.
Why?
Everything sucks.
Oh.
Work is horrible.
Yeah.
Having computer issues at home.
Oh, what's going on with your computer?
I don't know. This software I'm using is just randomly not working, and no matter how many times I change the settings, it doesn't listen.
Yeah.
It's like a quick translation software I use to where like I can use it to like correct myself, and like typically I right click and translate things, and then like it'll say it in English. So if I write something and it'll be like, it'll say the thing weirdly in English, and I'll be like, oh, that's not right. So then I'll change the quick little things, because like Spanish grammar is really stupid and difficult, and then finally it'll sound correctly. But then it's just not doing that anymore. It's just translated into Spanish. It goes from Spanish to Spanish, even though I have it set to Spanish to English.
Yeah.
I don't know what's causing it or why.
That's stupid.
Mm-hmm. And then work is just really freaking annoying. Like I got a QC today, and like all the marks are incredibly nitpicky.
Yeah.
And then there's like marks on it that I've never seen before or have no idea how to correct them.
Yeah.
And my supervisor's too busy to talk to me. And then I talked to my coworker about it, and they were like, "Yeah, I've got no idea what that means. Talk to the supervisor about it." It's like one of those. It's like that programming thing, like recursiveness, I think it's called, where it's like, in order to start recursiveness, you have to understand recursiveness.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. So I'm just like, oh my god. And then we're working on this like new, completely different type of architecture, and I have no idea how to do that either. So my book is just full of annoying stuff. There's like updates where I just have to review projects that I've never looked at before and architecture I'm not familiar with. And then I have QC marks where I don't understand why they're marked like that or how to correct them. And then I have another project where I have to design in an architecture I'm not familiar with or have never worked with.
Yeah. I'm just doing audits. It's the same thing all the time. Mostly just listening to Harry Potter and getting really angry at Harry's character.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just probably the most unbelievably irritating character ever put into a physical voice. Like that, I swear, like the book version of Harry Potter was never meant to be voice acted. It was designed for the reader to, I guess, maybe sympathize with Harry and then like add like redeeming qualities to Harry's character in the way that you're imagining the way he's talking, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're thinking of Harry complaining and like whining in the fucking and the Order of the Phoenix, in your head when you're reading it, you're thinking like, oh well, I mean, he's reasonably upset. He's saying all these things in a way that, he's obviously upset. He's like, this isn't fair or whatever. But oh my god. When you give him a voice actor and the voice actor just has a whiny voice the whole goddamn book, dude. Oh my god. The full cast narration of The Order of the Phoenix is one of the more frustrating books I've ever listened to. Or, well, audio, whatever you want to call it. It's disaster, dude. Like, it makes me hate Harry Potter. Like, I hate him the whole book, the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I despise him. I don't like him at all. I don't respect the character. I don't understand the motivation. I can't even sympathize with the character because Harry is so incredibly annoying the whole book. Like, I don't know. It's unbelievable.
Does it give you a migraine or anything?
It just makes me mad. Like I'm sitting there like mad. Like at work, I'm just mad. I'm just like, why is he so fucking annoying? And then like Dumbledore is like trying to be reasonable, and he's like not giving a single shit. Like never has like there's never a moment, even in the narration, even in the descriptions of his thought, where he has any kind of like doubt that he isn't completely justified in being a complete shithead the whole time. And so there's zero redeeming qualities to Harry Potter, except that he's really strong at casting spells. Like all of his spells tend to usually work.
Nice.
That's the one thing that he's good at as a character.
Is this the book where they form like Dumbledore's army and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The whole there's like a whole he meets Voldemort again and fucking Sirius dies. And
okay, yeah, I know what book
like
this is.
all of that shit. But like throughout the entire book, Harry is just whining and complaining, and then even like at the I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't really remember how he is in the book when I was reading it, and in my head he was never this fucking irritating. But like listening to this, it's gotten to near the end of the book, like I have like an hour, less than an hour left, and Dumbledore comes out and he's like, I'll explain everything to you. Just give me 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay, here's when Dumbledore's going to explain everything. Harry's going to understand, like, oh, he's going to have like a retrospective moment and like kind of understand that he's being a shithead. And no, none of that happens. He's just the whole time he's just like, fuck you, Dumbledore. Like, I hate you. Let me leave. I don't want to talk to you. You don't understand me. Like, just being the most fucking unbearable character in the world. And then the voice actor's like screaming it like fucking, and his super fucking, I don't know. I really fucking don't like that voice actor. I find him incredibly annoying. From the moment that he was like older, and like it was like the older version of him in the story, I hated it. I was like, he doesn't sound like Harry Potter.
Was you like that in the Goblet of Fire too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same guy. It's just, I don't care for his voice. I don't care for that. He sounds too gruff, like scruffy. I don't know. Something about it. He doesn't sound like Harry Potter. He sounds like Harry Potter when Harry Potter's yelling, which he does a lot in this book. So like every time he yells, I'm like, that's kind of sounds like Harry Potter, but why is he so bitchy? He's just bitching the whole book. And then every time he talks in his like normal voice, I keep forgetting who it is. I'm like, is that fucking Harry Potter? Like, why does he sound like a fucking some random background like jerky character? And I don't fucking know. I don't know how to I don't know how to do a fucking parrot. I hate his voice. I hate it. I hate his voice as much as I think most people hate their own voice. Like when they hear their own voice, they're like, God, I fucking hate that. I don't like hearing myself. When I hear his voice, I'm like, I hate his voice. Like if I had his voice, I would hate my voice. I hate his voice. I don't know why I hate it so much. But then he's just constantly whining. And then he yells everything. Oh my God, dude. He's making me into an angry person. That's the whole time I'm reading it. I'm becoming a worse person for having listened to this. Like, it's fucking my day up. I don't know, man. I don't understand why he has to be so irritating. Like, give him at least a little bit of a redeeming quality. Like, at least when I was reading it in my head, I always thought Harry was more like when he was saying those things, he wasn't like screaming them. You know, he wasn't like fucking and saying all the whiny things he says. I thought he would say it in a more sincere, like, this is just how I feel, and not a like fucking just super fucking whiny and irritating the whole time. Like, I fucking hate him. I hate him. It makes me not like Harry Potter, the book series as a total. It's literally ruining the series for me because I'm like, I literally hate Harry Potter. It sucks. Like, the way that he's portrayed in the movies is so much better than whatever the fuck they are doing in this. It's cool to get like a more book accurate version of the story that's this high quality. Yeah. But for fuck's sake, that part should have been rewritten. Harry is the most irritating, unlikable character in anything I've ever read. Awful. Total disaster. I don't know. You'll get to it. You'll listen to it eventually and you'll understand what I mean. I swear you will.
Yeah, I've only finished the first book.
Yeah, you're gonna get it. Because it's hard to finish the book. Because it's like, I know what happens. But this is just like, it's like ruining my childhood. It's like, here's this character I liked and I thought I understood, and here's them portrayed in the most irritating, most unlikable way possible. And it's so frustrating. Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that the last two books are going to be better.
Maybe.
And he'll be a little less whiny and a little bit more like, because I think his voice works if he's like serious or like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what he needs. Even then,
when is angry as Harry Potter in the movies? I feel like it has to be the one you're on right now. Like,
I guess
that's the book where he's like, "Look at me."
Yeah. No, he's supposed to be frustrated in the movie, but the problem is the voice actor. Like, oh my God! Like everything he says, every line were in my head. Like Harry might just be kind of like normal feeling. Mm-hmm. He has a whiny spin on it. Everything. He says everything with like fucking just grit. Where he's like, bullshit. Like fucking, like the whole entire book.
It's like the opposite of Dumbledore saying, "Did you put your name into the fire?" calmly. Like, it's like that situation, but reverse.
Right. It's like Harry, like he should be a little bit more fucking on his shit. Like, up until this moment in the book, too, like right after Sirius dies and Dumbledore goes to try to sit down and have a discussion with him, this is when his anger is justified. But he's been so bitchy and irritating up to this point that it's not like a surprising moment when you're like, whoa, Harry's a little fucking angry. Like, oh, he doesn't seem like he seems like he's pretty mad about this. Like, there's no surprise. It's just he's been bitchy, and then he has a temper tantrum. And you're like, God damn it, he's just whining and screaming and complaining now even louder than he was the whole book. Like, I fucking hate it, dude.
He started off too high on the escalation ladder of angry.
He did. He had nowhere to go. He just kept being. Literally just a temper tantrum. Just him bitch like throwing shit. Because in the book he does that. He like destroys Dumbledore's office. He like stomps around and grabs things and breaks shit. And like he's like yelling at him and being like an annoying teenager. Like, you don't understand me. Like this is some bullshit. And he's like literally he's having a full on temper tantrum in Dumbledore's office. And he sounds like it. And the voice actor makes me want to punch him. Like, everything about it is just so irritating. And Dumbledore the whole time is like, oh my god, I guess it's my fault. I'm sorry. Like, fucking, like, trying to put out this fire, like, trying to be calm or whatever. But then, like, it doesn't come across. It just makes me kind of hate him, too, because of how fucking nonchalant he's being while this kid is being a complete menace inside of his office. Like, a completely unlikable, unbelievably annoying character. I don't know, man.
So, other than Harry Potter and the horribleness of his voice and all of that, what else have you been up to?
That's it, dude.
Are you looking forward to more Crimson Desert at all?
No. I can't even really enjoy the game. I want to play it. The Steam Deck can't really play it. I want to play it out here. I don't want to play it in my room with a controller, so I can't play it. The Steam machine isn't out yet. It works on, and it looks fine. It's like mostly playable. Like I could play it on there, but
FPS looks a little low.
Duh. That's why it's the worst bit. You're getting like right now like between 18 and 22. So it's like it's really kind of annoying to play. The latency is great. Like, the latency is fantastic. It feels very responsive and shit, so it's like that. You're not missing any of that. But visually, it's just, like, really kind of upsetting to look at. It could just be a little bit higher, even though I have it set on the absolute bare minimum resolution and settings. Like, I can't set it any lower than it is. So, I don't know. Sort of blows. I was looking at this, there's this weird game... or not weird game. There's a game called The Carter or something. Let me look it up. It's got a dumb name. The Carters 2. It's the most insanely stupid name ever. But it's supposed to be like a Mario Kart kind of style game. And it's very moddable and shit. And I tried playing that on here, and I'm like, it works. It's kind of cool. But then, like, I started losing frames. I was getting like 30 FPS in like single player on one of the maps, and I was like, this sucks. So I go to look at the settings. It doesn't have any. It has pick your resolution, and that's it. And I'm like, welp, this game sucks because it doesn't quite run as well as it should, and there's no way to fix it.
It's very strange.
I don't know. Why do they make games like that?
I don't know. It feels like that's like a console port or something. I know that's really common with them.
Well, this is technically a Windows exclusive game, I think. Or no, I say exclusive. It's a Windows. It's made for Windows, but so it's being emulated to Linux on here. But that shouldn't matter. But I don't know if it's like I don't think it's a console game because it's heavily integrated into Steam.
Yeah,
like everything about it. It's made by EA. Apparently, I didn't know that EA made it. I assumed it was maybe like an indie thing.
Typically, EA is really good when it has you like an overabundance of settings.
Yeah, none of the
very strange.
Like I don't like none of all the characters are original, and I don't recognize any of them. And yeah, but like the menus, like it runs so good, it's like a solid 60. But then on certain maps, the game just like shits its pants, and I'm like, why is it running like that? A game like this has no business being a heavy game.
It's just a racing game.
Yeah. Like, it should just be smooth. Like, this one's fine. This level's good.
Yeah, that looks good.
There was a level I was playing on earlier that was, like, 32, like, dropping below 30 sometimes.
Was it, like, a default made for the game, or was it, like, a player-made one?
It was a level. It was a game level. It was just one of the levels just ran like shit. But I don't know. I am excited to try this more, because it is kind of fun. It's basically Mario Kart, but just with Steam Workshop support, so you can... I say basically Mario Kart. It's nothing like Mario Kart. Like the aesthetic and everything is different, but there's like tons of Steam community options. So I'm thinking you can like make it look better, more fun, more Mario Karty.
Yeah.
or add weird characters and all that, and we have to go, but I don't want to. I'm just miserable. And this has been a very long week.
Mm-hmm. Been a long
Even though it's been
year.
a short week.
Oh, what a year already. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should die and be all sad and miserable for a few hours and then do it all over again tomorrow.
Yay.
Yay. At least tomorrow's Thursday.
Yar.
Bye.
Lunch break.
Lunch break.
How's it going?
It's Thursday.
Yeah. Thursdays are usually pretty good days.
Yeah. What's on the agenda today?
I'm sitting down.
Sitting down.
That's all I got.
Doing any standing?
No.
Doing any
Playing
walking?
Kingdom Hearts. I gotta go to Kroger after work and then come home and then do a Mickey Mouse thing and then play a bunch of Kingdom Hearts.
Where are you in Kingdom Hearts now?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I mean, I've beat what is apparently considered one of the hardest bosses in the game, and then now I have the rest of the game to finish.
Oh, my.
But there's like a lot of games still.
Yeah.
So just kind of, and I'm also like haven't really progressed past where I left off last time I played in the last stream because I was really struggling to get through the fucking boss fight.
I watched you for a little bit. You were doing like the Colosseum stuff.
I'm gonna be in there for a while. I'll probably be in there all day today because I'm trying to get a certain ability, and it takes a long ass time to get it.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Work today is pretty boring. Haven't done anything. Well, I've done stuff. I'm working on a new project, and I've had about a meeting every single hour for every hour I've been there. So I've had like 4 meetings today.
Yeah.
And they're all just about the project I'm working on. Like the first one was in the morning, and they were like, "Oh, you do this. It's very simple. If you see this, you do this." I'm like, "Sweet." And then an hour goes by, and he's like, "Oh, everyone get in a meeting like right now." We're like, "Okay." And he's like, "So everything I just said, scratch that. If you do this, don't do this. Do something else instead." And we're like, "Sweet." And then an hour goes by, and he calls us back in the meeting. He was like, "Scratch that again. If you do this, you'll see something else, and then you'll have to do 2 different things." And then right before I went to lunch, he called us all back in again and was like, the same thing again. It's like, "Oh, scratch that. Actually go back to doing what you were doing at the very start from the first meeting." So yeah, we have no idea what's going on.
Now that happens pretty much every couple of days right now with what we're doing, because it's mostly like, again, audit stuff where they're like, we just need to do it to a certain standard, and they want it to be done as fast as possible, and they're still trying to figure out what we can and cannot do, or what we can get away with, I guess. So they'll call a meeting and they'll tell us exactly what to do and create like a list, like a sort of priority, like a work priority list. And then they'll call us back and be like, "All right, we're actually going to change this and do it this way now." And then like right now we're on like revision. We're only on revision 2 for the one we're on right now. But this one's like, they seem like they're really pushing it, like they're really trying to rush it. And I've just been kind of poking along. I'm not trying to stress out over it. Mostly listening to Antrim, or what's it called?
I haven't a clue.
Artemis. Which is awesome. That's pretty cool. I like it. It's weird because Andy Weir is writing it, like the whole book is from like a female's perspective. And he does kind of like, it is like weird because it doesn't sound like a female. It sounds like it does. Like Reddit was right. Like when I was like looking into this book, it was like, it has good reviews, but people's complaint is that there's like apparently a subreddit called like men writing women. And like there were just tons of posts of complaining about it. And I'm like, I'll probably not actually care. And then I'm listening to it and I'm like, yeah, like, it's weird how much he's writing her to be just like a little bit. It just doesn't sound like something a female would say or think. Just there are just moments like that, but other than that, like the actual story itself is pretty fun and like fascinating. It's like it's about like, because soon they're doing NASA's launching. They're trying to build a moon base and they're trying to have it functional by 2030. And it's called Artemis 2. and that's what the whole book is based on. It's about this moon base, so it's like
that's really cool.
it takes place on it, and it's just like about this girl who lives there, who's lived there since she was like 6, and it's like a city on the moon effectively, and she has like a job there, but she most of the time she makes her money from like smuggling stuff because there are like certain items that people want that they're not supposed to have. Like you're on a moon base and oxygen is, you're pumping high percentage oxygen into the room, so you shouldn't be smoking, but people still want to smoke. So she gets like cigarettes and shit for people and lighters and stuff and butane and like all kinds of just random whatever. But it's just like about her life there and her getting in trouble and like trying not to get like basically like sent back to Earth, because like that would be the horrible for her. Like there's not that many people living in the station.
Has she ever been to Earth?
No. Well, again, I think she got there when she was 6.
Okay.
And she was like, and she's and like there's a lot of people on the station, but there's not that many people on the station. There's only like it's very one of the most sought after jobs is fucking anything to do with EVA.
Mm-hmm.
So like just being able to walk around outside and not have to be inside of the station. But there's only like 40 people that get EVA on the whole station, and she's one of them. And it's just like there's this whole thing, and she obviously like she doesn't want to get in trouble because if she does, they'll send her back to Earth. But she's been there for so long that she'd basically be crippled on Earth. Like she would never be able to function like a person. So she's like trying everything she can to stay on the moon base. And yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
So this is quite far in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be like 20 or 30 years in the future.
Makes me wonder, like...
Or I guess it would be longer than that, because they have built almost like a full city there at this point.
I'm just curious as to, like, who is the youngest person to ever go into space?
I don't know.
That would be a Google. Hey, Google, who's the youngest person ever gone to space?
The youngest person to have travelled to space is Oliver Damon, a Dutch space tourist who flew aboard the Blue Origin New Shepard rocket in July 2021. He was 18 years old at the time of the flight.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, it has to be pretty far in the future if they're sending a 6-year-old to the moon.
Well, again, it's in a time. It's not a timeline, but I don't really know what the year was. I didn't pay that much attention to I didn't hear or pay attention to what the year was.
Mm-hmm.
But like, there's a lot of space like tourism. So like moon tourism is a huge thing at this point because they have like it's a full station. There's hotels. There's like places to stay. There's like activities and things to do. So like people go there all the time, and there's like a lot of where they get their money and shit for things. And there's like full companies that are on there. Like there's a company that specializes in like mining surface level materials to get aluminum, and then using that aluminum foundry to like produce oxygen so that they can, and they sell that oxygen back to the station. And then there's like a whole like an industry or whatever in there.
That does sound like a very fun book.
Yes, I mean, like, yeah, it's definitely in a far future sort of thing, but not like, again, he's writing from a perspective of like, all of this is like within reason to be done.
And it's just like a one-off book?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I may add it to my list then, because I was planning on Expeditionary Force, Ready Player One, and Harry Potter, but I may actually do that before I get back to Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 8 hours. I'm more than halfway done with it. I'll probably finish it by the end of the day, maybe. If not, I'll definitely be done on Friday. And then I wanted to go to Operation Bounce House, because that one I'm really excited about, because it's like Matt Damian's big next, like his last solo book, and it's like really getting a lot of high praise and shit. And
that's the dungeon crawler guy.
Yeah, and it's like definitely in the same vein. So it's like, it sounds like it's going to be a really fun one. So I was going to do that one, and then maybe start the Red Rising series.
Ooh, I've heard very good things about that series.
I've been like, I already bought the first book a while back, and I haven't started it yet. I have like a couple series. I have another one called Induction. That's another one where I'm actually pretty far into Induction. Induction's another one of those lit RPG ones that I started. So I actually probably should finish that one before I start.
Is that the one you were saying that was like kind of dungeon crawler Carly?
Yeah, but it's just like a different vibe. And I'm reading 3 fucking lit RPGs. Well, I'm not dungeon crawler currently, but these 2 at the same time, and like they're the worlds in these kind of things are very similar, like build up and story sort of thing. Like this one's framed differently because like the company that's coming in to do everything only enlists like a couple people from the planet, and then like when you're enlisted, you can't ever reveal that you've been enlisted and you're fighting for your planet, but like you keep your mana abilities and shit, but like they use tech to like brainwash people to basically not see it. So you're kind of like a mage, like a Harry Potter mage where the muggles can't really see that you're doing magic. But you also only have a limited amount of mana, and you can only really get mana from the portal that leads to and from those other worlds. So because there's not much on the planet, so they have to be like sparing with their magic when they're on Earth. But then when they go to those other worlds, they can just unleash and go crazy.
You ball out.
It's great. It's just weird. But then the other one I was listening to was more about people were there was like a mothership that was sent off with like a shit ton of people on it, all in like sleep, like deep sleep, so that they can go to like a different system.
Yeah.
And they built that basically as a holy shit, we need to get off the planet kind of thing. And in order to keep people sane or to keep their like brain functional, apparently they put them into this like essentially as a game simulation. It was like a game kind of like in Ready Player One, where there's like a company that built like this crazy immersive game that's like everyone plays it, like it's like the game, which does seem like something that could happen in the future, because the way that gaming's going, where everything's kind of dying off and people are starting to be like, oh well, power doesn't really matter, people aren't really interested in new age consoles, they just want more games of what they already have, and a lot of people kind of like getting funneled into certain little pockets. It makes sense that like there are going to start being games, if the games that already exist now, that are going to probably still be played and you know, forever, like for like maybe an insanely long time. You know what I mean? So like, because it's kind of the same thing that happened with music. Eventually, it's like, well, everything's been written. Like mathematically, every song that can be made has pretty much been made already. Like there's really nowhere else you can go. You can just do different spins or you can remake something or make something kind of in a new theme, but it's all the same thing at this point. It's kind of where games are getting at this point. It definitely feels like that in terms of the market, because it's been so completely flooded. My point being, in a world where a game is like a big thing, and then they get their minds put into it, but then like everybody else is like living in there just on autopilot, like they're all as NPCs. So like their brains are set to like basically NPC mode. So like they're living this life of an NPC, and they don't even know that they're in a game, and it doesn't matter to them, because that's just sort of like putting their brain on standby. It's like allowing their brain to function without fucking deteriorating or whatever.
While they're in a coma.
Right. But then a few people like woke up, like we're fully conscious, and then we're like, where the fuck are we and what's happening? And the book is about their journey in this game world.
Ooh.
Like trapped aboard the ship, and they like slowly realize like, oh fuck, we're on a spaceship, and like we're trapped in here, and if we die in here, we might actually die because we're like tapped in.
Kind of reminds me of like a mixture between what's that one apocalypse book where they're in a cave, The Light of Ember or something?
I don't know.
And then also The Matrix. It's like a mix of those two.
Yeah. It's very bizarre. But that one I'm reading on the Kindle. And this one is... Anyway, yeah, I have like 3 hours left of that. So I'll probably finish Induction and then do Operation Bounce House, and then maybe either go to the second book of Induction or start Red Rising.
The City of Ember.
The City of Ember, yeah. Yeah. I have, like, my problem right now is that I really want to... There's a lot of things I want to listen to, but so many of them are series. So I kind of like... I almost want to start, like, reading one book of a series, then read another book of a different series, and read another book of that series, and another book of this series, and try to, like, bounce back and forth, because I want to read more of them, but I don't want to, like, I don't want to get burned out like I did with... I didn't get really that burned out, but, like, the last ones I've read, like, I kind of went a little too hard, and it's like, I didn't want to stop reading, and I didn't stop reading. I finished them, but there was also, like, a small part of me that was like, I probably could have done this a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it probably would have been more enjoyable if I, like, had something else, so...
Kind of felt that with Expeditionary Force when I did, like, 15 or so books in a row. By the end there, I was enjoying it, but it was, like, kind of trudging through mud.
And I really like one-off books. Like, I've read a fucking lot of those, and I really enjoy just books where there's just like I really like series books too, and that's why I'm literally currently doing like 3 at a time. But I really, really like just one-offs because that way it's like I just take a break. Just do this for like 16 hours and then go back to what I was doing.
Kind of like takes the pressure off. Like, you know, the worry, be like, oh, great, now I'm going to be deep into a whole series. It's just, but there's comforts for both.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of just depends on what's happening too. If it's X-Force is really hard to stop reading.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know, you don't want to just like, especially at the end of a book, it's impossible because of the cliffhangers.
Yeah, things are fucking ramping up right now. The Theranin just, apparently they had like a cult that's been around for like 1 million years, and they're not cyborg people. They just worship elder weapons, and they just bombed Max Sold's planet, so that's insane.
I also realized that last time we were talking, I kind of mentioned the Harry Potter series and like what book I was on. I was on the
Order of the
Phoenix, and then I was thinking, I don't know if I said this, but I thought it afterwards, and I was like, that's not right. There's only 2 books left after that. And I think I did say that, but because I was thinking about the books, but then I might have also said the first half of the fucking Deathly Hallows at some point, and in my head thinking it was 2 books, but it's not.
It's just 2 movies.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. I just wanted to point that out because I don't know if I did do that, but also we got to go. But I do want to say one last thing. That fucking ages ago, I bought that fucking smart plug for my lava lamp, and it's still fucking kicking, and it's really cool. Like, I love that damn thing. It's worked perfectly. I get home every day and it's on and it runs all day, and then like before I go to sleep, I'll tell it to turn off, or if I forget, it doesn't matter because it will turn itself off.
Yeah.
And it's fucking dope. Like, I just can't stress enough how awesome.
5 stars?
5 stars. Get a lava lamp and a fucking smart plug, and you don't have to ever think about it. It's pretty dope. Pretty pog.
Pretty fantastic.
Pretty pog, champ.
All right, well, good job. Congratulations all around. Awesome job with the smart plug. And let's get back to suffering. Tomorrow's Friday. Fantastic. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure it'll be cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Goodbye, I guess.
Yeah, all right. Bye. Lunch break.
Lunch break.
It's lunch break.
It's lunch break.
Or it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Merry Friday.
Merry Christmas. Hey, Google, what's the definition of fire?
Fire is the visible effect of a very fast chemical reaction called combustion, where a fuel rapidly combines with oxygen to release heat and light, usually in the form of a flame. It's essentially a burning mass of material. The 3 things needed for it to occur are fuel, heat, and oxygen. This is known as the fire triangle.
Very interesting. The office is on fire today. I guess it's been on fire for quite a while, but today has been kind of like, like the idea of like a cascade failure?
Yeah.
Like 1 becomes 2, becomes 4. It's exponential. Today was like the day where like everyone started to notice it. So the whole office is on fire. People were running around like chickens with their head cut off, and the tension is very palpable. You can there's an atmosphere in the air that's heavy and intense. And my supervisor and my supervisor were getting into it. Mm-hmm. They were having a very professional, tense disagreement.
Right.
Like, if no one was around, they would be yelling at each other.
Right.
But because they were in a very quiet office, they were like sitting there talking like this and be like, no, it can't be like this because it's all fucked. And then he was like, well, you got to unfuck it like this. Yeah. And like it was very intense sounding. And he's like, I got to trust my team to do this. And he was like, you can't trust any of those guys to do anything. And then he was like, my supervisor was like, well, then that's just the difference of opinions then. And like, oh, I was getting anxious hearing it. I was like, good Lord. I am glad I am not dealing with that stuff right now.
Yeah. That doesn't sound good at all.
The whole office is fucked. The biggest mistake was they got rid of the QC team years ago, and now no one knows how to do anything anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like what's that one controversy that happened back in the day when the cigarette company checked themselves and they found themselves to be completely safe? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. Like,
yeah,
fucking, you don't know what you're doing, so you pass the project and it's given off to someone else who doesn't know what they're doing, and then they're just like, I don't know, and then
let's go to me and fucking send it. Yeah, I don't know. Nothing. It's really bad. I feel like I've begun feeling very just uncomfortable because I feel like I'm barely working to a point where it's gross and I'm not like getting any satisfaction out of the job anymore because I'm not really contributing in any meaningful way. I'm just sort of doing what I'm told, and I know that what I'm being told to do isn't correct.
Yeah, it's like I'm quote unquote working. I'm looking at things that I've never looked at before and guessing if it's correct or not.
Yeah.
Based off of what I know, which is very little about that thing whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, you can look through the requirements if you want. Here's a textbook that's like 1,000 pages. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm going to find what I need through here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I miss the old company. There's so many cool things about it that were awesome. Like, do you remember the guidebooks that were like, they weren't like corporate made. They were made by people who experienced the job, and they're like, this is how I did it. And
right.
It was refined by being passed around. It was open source.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing like this at this company. They're like these big top-down corporate mandate things where they're like, this is how you do it. And it's like whenever a state comes when you're working at Taco Bell and you have to do everything to standard rather than how it's actually done in a real situation.
Well, like they got rid of all that because they were saying that it damages the quality because they can't control what goes on those things. So if a bunch of people get some kind of guide that somebody made and it has a mistake in it, then everyone's going to be making that mistake if they pick that guide up, which is a valid concern. But instead of removing that option entirely, they could go, oh, well, obviously these are like useful tools that people seem to like. Let's allow people to have these as tools and I don't know.
Review them and correct the mistakes.
Maybe review them or whatever they might need to do. Because like our standards change quite often, but like not often enough that like the 90% of the stuff in there is valid.
Yeah.
And like when it's something that like everyone gets to contribute to, you know, and especially if we have a QC team that can correct us when we're wrong and know what the rules are, then it's very easy for any one of the people that have that particular guide to go, this is wrong, I'm going to correct this, and to inform everyone that that's wrong and it needs to be changed.
Yeah.
And then we move on as a team instead of something changes now, no one corrects anyone, and it goes on for months, and there's no one even really asks the questions because everyone gets immediately reprimanded or punished for asking questions. And not like directly, but indirectly, because when you start asking lots of questions, then it creates more problems for everyone and no one likes it. So the vibe is really bad.
You're like the guy from Full Metal Jacket, the fat guy that gets what's it called, a blanket party, you know, when they're just not a sexual thing. It's like you know, you get pinned down with a blanket and everyone hits you with their socks full of soap.
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
It's just like it just starts creating issues. Like when people start asking questions, it starts raising concerns that we didn't have, and then they become bigger issues, and then it becomes then with the supervisors. Obviously, I always have to get involved when that happens, and then they don't have time to deal with stuff like that, and then it gets out of hand, and then it goes from there.
It led to the situation yesterday. We had a meeting and they were like, hey, do this. Another meeting, actually do it like this. Another meeting, no, scratch that, do it like this. Another meeting, do it like you were doing it originally. Like,
yeah. They're more concerned with control than they are quality. So as long as they have like total control and can just mandate things and make us do it, that's ideal to them. And that in terms of like what we're actually making, they want it to be good, but they don't care how we do that. And by not caring, they inadvertently rip out all of the foundation that we have in order to make things good. But I think that's just universal when you're under a larger company.
Yeah, like a big corporation like that's like a big giant boat, while a small company like we used to work at is like a nimble fox. It can jump around and do all the changes it needs to do, but to make big changes like that for such a big company would be expensive, and they don't want to spend the money.
Yeah.
It was so funny though. A few weeks ago, my supervisor was like, "Hey, have you ever been trained in this architecture?" And I was like, "No, I've never seen this architecture before." And he was like, "All right, well, I just gave you a QC for it." And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do quality control for something I've never
Yeah.
seen before and I have no idea how to work around or anything.
Right. Yeah. Things sort of blow. I'm definitely going to bring up to my supervisor when I get back about even though I know nothing's going to happen, the lack of a QC team.
Mm-hmm.
And because I do think that is a huge part of the problem. I think having a dedicated QC team would pretty much eliminate like 90% of the problems we're having.
Yeah.
Especially with having all of these constant audits that we've been getting. 100%. That would be dealt with so fast. Especially a QC team that would be dedicated to correcting and doing things to standards would be able to do those audits too, which would be way easier. It would allow us to continue to work on projects we currently have and give them more work to do when there's not a lot of QC.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we don't have that. We gotta all be doing a little bit of everything. And I mean, I don't know. I like to think that I'm pretty careful on QCs. Like I try to be pretty thorough. I like to look down I have a whole list and I like to look down that list and check things off as I go and make sure everything's all right. But even I have get jobs where it's a designer I've seen 100 times and I know that they know how to do their job well, and I'll start skipping things because I'm like, there's no way that they screwed this up because this is like a basic job, this is a basic thing that we do all the time, and I don't know if they did it right or not. I have no idea.
Do you ever get like projects where you're QCing it and it's so wrong that you're like,
Yeah.
it can't be this wrong, it has to be right.
Yeah.
Like there has to be a reason why it's this wrong.
Yeah, that happens. That actually happened with the one I'm working on now, and I had to ask questions about it. You get one that's like you get it, and on the surface it looks okay, but then you find one thing, and when you find the one thing, you're like, okay, I'm gonna be a little bit more scrutinous now, and you start looking deeper, and then you're like, oh my god, the whole thing was a ruse. Like all of it, like it looks okay on the surface, but then you start digging in.
It's just
or
wallpaper.
There's like a domino effect where they did almost everything right on the surface. They did everything right in terms of what they hand in, but then they didn't do some important thing that makes all of the other work they did correctly useless.
Yeah.
It's like all of that stuff you did right, it doesn't matter because you need to undo it or redo it because you didn't do this thing right. And that's what I mean. Again, I have like when I'm QCing, I have these things that I know are like deal breakers for a job, and I usually check them first, and they're like foundational things that are like, if this isn't right, then nothing's going to be right. And so I usually check those first, and if one of those is broken, then I'm like, I can basically write off the whole project.
Yeah.
And go, I'm going to now be very thorough, find everything, and go, this is pretty much dead set on being sent back. But then I get stuff like I have right now where I literally don't have the option to reject it. I have to make the changes myself, and the designer that did it obviously needed some help and guidance on some things, and I don't have that opportunity to send it back to them because we're being rushed. Like, it's faster for me to fix it than to send it back to them, and we don't have a dedicated QC team, so there's no way, like, because it's taking up my time and their time to do it, and it costs more time for everyone for us to QC each other. Now we have to rush it out the door, and I'm just going to make quick fixes, and they're not going to learn anything, and then we're going to go to the next day, and they're going to send something in that's going to have the same problems,
Yeah.
and it's going to be the same situation, and it's just going to keep going. It just happened to land in my bucket, and I happened to be a person that thoroughly checked everything to the point of finding these things in the first place. Had I been him or the person that submitted it and got somebody else's job that had the same issues, they probably wouldn't have noticed them at all, and it would have just gone out the door. So, yeah, there's a very easy solution to this that we will not do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Oh God, but we just talked about work for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that sucks. I usually try to avoid talking about it as much as possible.
It's all I've been thinking about today.
No.
I played Factorio last night, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
It was also a huge catastrophe. Almost happened, but also it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Basically, our power got interrupted. So, like, there's a train that gives us fuel. It gives us coal.
Right.
And that train got blocked. So we had a brownout, which shut off the local fuel for the power generator, which then caused a blackout throughout the entire factory. And our outpost got overwhelmed by bugs because we're using laser turrets.
Right.
And then we started having breakthroughs at like north, east, and west parts of the factory.
Yeah.
And I spent like 30 minutes in a tank just running back and forth playing defense because we were under attack.
I'm going to be honest. I figured you guys, it was going to collapse eventually. I didn't
But
think...
we fixed it.
Yeah, you fixed it?
Yeah, it was almost catastrophic. Like, Nathaniel was incredibly worried. He was like, this could be it.
Yeah.
But we managed to fix it, and everything's okay now.
Huh.
And now we have we put a stop guard in place to where like each power facility has its own dedicated battery and solar farm. So
Right.
that's like a disconnect in the train network can't cause this anymore.
Yeah.
But it was intense.
Yeah. My brain, I thought of something when you said that, and I was like, but then I realized it's a reference to the book that I just finished. And, or maybe I didn't finish it. I'm not quite at the end of it yet, although I'm basically at the end of it if I didn't. But there's something like a similar scenario kind of thing. Well, not scenario, but similar. Yeah.
Once we fixed it, we were looking at the graph that shows like all the outputs and inputs and everything, and we put it to 1 hour and specifically looked at the energy, and it was like up, huge crash. It looked like the fucking Great Depression.
Yeah.
It was like a bunch of stock traders jumping out of skyscrapers and stuff like from that. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible, but it was also, it was pretty fun. Like just driving around in that tank. I was like driving through the factory in a tank, destroying things to try to get over there quick enough because they were like destroying critical stuff. And I was like, fuck this, we can just build this later.
Yeah.
Shooting my cannon off, like blowing up things so I don't lose speed.
Right.
But yeah, holy shit. Everything was fine.
Huh.
I stayed up way too late. I stayed up until 11 because afterwards I played Banished, which I've been obsessed with recently. It's like
I figured you stayed up because I was hearing you play guitar really late. I remember laying there like trying to go to sleep and I was hearing you play guitar. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I kind of want to try to go to sleep now. So I like put earplugs in and then like set like white noise on. And then it was so faint at that point that I was like, I can sleep now. So,
yeah, I stayed up until like 11:30 playing Banished. It was very fun. I got my first crucial trade in. I sold 1,000 units of firewood and got some iron, coal, and stone, and now I can make steel, which that's going to change everything.
Right. Hell yeah. We gotta go, but it is Friday, and thank God it's Friday. All that crap, all the nightmare stuff that we've been dealing with is out of the way, and I had a really good time playing Kingdom Hearts yesterday. And I'm going to play more of that on Thursday. And on Tuesday, I'm going to play a different game, which is going to be cool as fuck. I'm going to start playing just shit other than Kingdom Hearts on stream.
Very awesome.
Which is something I've really wanted to do because I can start playing Crimson Desert and not feel like a loser. For some reason, playing games like that is like, I just feel gross doing it, Because I'm like, this is a waste of my time. Like, I should be doing something more productive or whatever, even though I know I'm going to enjoy it. But if I'm streaming it, I feel less gross about it. So, there's that.
All right, well,
I'm stoked.
Congratulations to the weekend, and good night.
Timecast. Live stream.
Live.
Timecast live.
Jesus loves you.
It's also on Steam.
Loves me
YouTube.
more, though.
Oh.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Bye.
See ya.